is today's modern Indian restaurant, taking you back in time. Everything around you at Pasto is a reminiscence of a glorious past and a cultural richness of a bygone era. I realized that there was a dearth of good Mughlai restaurants in the city. And we at Pasto are motivated to cater to that demand. We wanted to be the Robin Hoods of this business by getting exotic food and providing it with a fine dine experience and making it accessible to the masses by serving it at affordable prices, thereby achieving preeminence in the restaurant industry. I was born and brought up in this beautiful city. I mean, beautiful by excluding those stares of the angry autowalas that you get. Hey, sorry, I got so types, you know. I mean, lighten up, guys. I mean, why are y'all so serious? So, yeah, I mean, we all love Bangalore. I mean, apart from all of those, and especially the laid-back life that we experience. Now, I've been asked to share my experience and views on the increasing significance and need for development and growth of entrepreneurship, as well as to promote the spirit of invention and innovation among you all. Now, to start with, in terms of entrepreneurship, I would humbly like to say that there is nothing I can tell you that you already don't know. And people, when told they're smart, they like it. Well, I did my schooling from one of the most prestigious institutions in Bangalore, Bishop Cotton's, and then moved on to college at Baldwin's. Well, you see the graph go down there. Everyone has their shortcomings, so I mean, those were mine. Then I moved on to do nothing for 5 years, guys. Then I moved on to do nothing, absolutely nothing for 5 years. By nothing, I mean, apart from being privileged to have my father fund my dates and a couple of stupid expensive hobbies such as automotives and cars and racing and traveling and partying and trying to get Kareem Benzema down the wing to lob that ball to Ronaldo and so that he can shoot a goal. You know, spending time in front of video games. I did nothing those 5 years. All this while I was surrounded by the family business, being real estate, and started to learn the know-hows about the same. That's when my attempts at doing something really started. I assisted my father in real estate for quite some time, during which I met some very successful people and kept watching them all along. While doing so, apart from my various real estate escapades, I also tried my luck with many things. I tried to set up an activated charcoal water filter plant. I tried trading of minerals. I tried the export of FMCGs. I tried some plastic goods manufacturing. I tried taking up franchisees of some well-known garments in the city. And while doing all of that and much more, I was doing one particular thing, that was eating some good quality food all the time. And a whole lot of it. Somehow, I don't know what it was, whether it was the timing or the people around me, or was it just me. I did not land successfully at any of it. Then, by around the mid of 2016, I wanted to do something in the food industry. Since food was passion and an integral part of my life, as I was nurtured by rich Muslim food throughout, along with a few buddies of mine, we then came up with an idea of a cool and a happy coffee shop, where all of my friends could park their fancy sports cars, you know, a lot of music, industrial interiors, that cool kind of a thing. But I'm glad we couldn't zero in on any of a good location. When I did the math behind it, it didn't quite make sense with the kind of investment and returns we were looking at. That went to the trash as well. After which, I came on to an idea of a dark kitchen concept with no dining, like fresh menu, for example, except that this would be unhealthy, rich, and tasty Mughlai food. That further changed and evolved with the idea of adding dining to it as well. Keeping these in mind, I set out on a hunt for good locations. I would skip meals, park my car, and walk around each major neighborhood in the city the entire day. I did this for about 4 months, day in, day out, Mondays to Sundays. I then ended up settling by paying in advance as well to a not so good location. On the day of registration, the tenant got greedy enough to ask more of what was agreed upon, and that proved to be a deal breaker. I faced great despair here. After that, as this not so good location had consumed almost 2 months of my time by then, I thought to myself that this ain't happening as well. I took a 3 to 4 break from all of this, and then on the 25th day, I happened to drive down on Residency Road. That's it. Bang. Pasco was born. I loved the location. I signed up for it the following week. I implemented the designs and ideas I had in mind, and since then there has been no looking back. Although, yes, I did face a lot of challenges along the way, countless now that I can think of. Construction, licensing, staffing, permissions, jealous neighbors, I mean, you name it. The menu to my liking, etc., etc. But I relentlessly kept moving on. And here I am, as we hold this dialogue. My fabulous team at Pasto is gearing up to host its esteemed customers for lunch right now. Well, by that, Mitro, I don't want to, has Modi scared you all so much? I don't want to bore you anymore, and I'm not about to leave you any more inspired than you really are. You know, apart from that feeling of performance anxiety that I was going through when I got here, let me tell you that I'm jealous right now. Jealous of all of you with your age in specific, and the amount of time you have in reserve. So don't be bound by your rules. Be mad, be crazy, do all those things that you ever wanted to do, be it that trip you wanted to make, or even those times at FIFA, or those late nights even, or jumping off an airplane as well. Because madness by way of thinking, Indian silence. Because madness by way of thinking big and of a particularly nice kind is absolutely a prerequisite to a happy and successful life. Don't ever treat your little insanities as of their aberrations that ought to be hidden from the rest of the world. Acknowledge them and use them to define your own way of living, the only life you have. All the most beautiful people in the world, the most creative, the ones who led revolutions, who discovered and invented things, did so because they embraced their own idiosyncrasies. You will soon be embarking on a wondrous entrepreneurial journey of your own. So live as hard as you can in this very moment. Live it now, live it today. You may not see it with your youthful eyes right now, but now is as much time as you will ever get. I would like to end this on this note by sharing with you a company's tagline that I completely adore. Nike, just do it.
company growing to, or what is your final end goal with Ashok? What's your objective?
Pranav, right? Pranav, yeah, thank you. You see, I don't arrive at anything, Pranav. I have this particular thing that I do. I mean, I don't arrive at anything. I just take each day as it comes. I work hard towards it. I tend to do whatever I do to the maximum of my capability and my ability. And I don't arrive at anything such. If you ask me, yes, of course, what my goal is, realistically, I would say probably 10 more restaurants. But you know, I don't know whether I would be happy at the 10th restaurant by just doing that or doing something else for that matter at that moment of time. So,
in your opinion, like we have been accustomed to, we are told repeatedly that you always need to have a goal, a vision, a mission, an objective to which you should pace your steps accordingly. Right?
Of course, yes.
But
life without goals and dreams is nothing. I mean, you can.
Method to do it, like you said, take it every day as it comes. So, in your opinion, what do you think is the right way to go about it, and what has worked for you so far?
Yeah. See, the thing, as I told you, as I concluded this with, I said, just do it. All of us, I've realized this one particular thing. I've tried doing so many things, and out of it all, I've realized this one thing. It's a game of like, for example, in cricket, you play the bad balls. You just play them through, and wait for that good ball to come along. And for you to wait for that good ball to come along, you need to play those bad balls as well. So you need to start doing it. You need to start somewhere. The problem with most of us, and it was the same with me as well, is we think too much about the end, that we miss out on the start. We don't start. It's just, if you think of something, if you want to do something, do it. Just start with it. Be it the smallest step ever possible, but start somewhere. Yeah.
Where do you think the food industry is going? Like, there are a couple of them here are looking to start something in food. So what would be one recommendation from you, and how do you think we should look at the industry? They're going to be working.
Yeah, the food industry in today's day and age, especially in India, is very booming right now. It is, and as a result of that, it is very competitive as well. It is extremely competitive now. As you can see, if you open any of the food applications today, you would find several options to feed your hunger. So, if you are looking into something in food, today you have to be different. You have to identify a slot, an innovative idea, a creative idea, to do something different from the lot. To come up with, to identify the demand that is there in this industry, be it from the style of your cuisine, be it an innovative cuisine, be it the way you present it, be it the way you want to maintain your standards, or various other things. You need to do that, and yes, of course, the food industry is extremely booming right now, and we've got various other platforms that we did not have of generating more and more revenues. As back in the days, I mean, we never had Swiggy, we never had Zomato, all of that. You used to call one guy up, and he used to say on, and depending on his mood, whether he would deliver that particular dish to you, or I mean, as to how far your place was. But that isn't the case anymore. Today, you can take that food and deliver it to so many other people, take it to so many other houses. That itself puts you, I mean, gives you an optimistic thing to look forward to in this business. Thank you. Hope that answers the question. Yeah. Hi.
So you just said that the food market is competitive, right? The whole industry is competitive.
Correct.
So how are you marketing your restaurant, and what is your USP? Because I've seen in many restaurants, the owners just want to open it, and they don't have a USP, right? And that's the reason they're failing. So I want to know, how did you reach your USP, and how are you marketing it?
Yeah. You see, before opening a restaurant, I would say this. Usually, I was told, I was actually discouraged by a lot of people saying that you don't even know how to make tea. Forget about opening a restaurant. Don't let anyone tell you that, especially from a business sense that we come from, and we are applying that to it. As long as you're doing that right, you can goddamn do anything. I mean, except for building a rocket. In terms of food, I mean, in terms of USP, I got into this. I ate good food. You need to realize and understand good food first. You need to know what is bad food. You need to know what a bad biryani is. You need to know what a good biryani is. You need to eat those bazillion types of biryanis that are there in our country and elsewhere even. And then after that, you need to understand. For in my case, for example, I really felt the dirt for a good Mughlai restaurant in the city. Now, when you say Mughlai restaurant, when you say North Indian restaurant, there are many other restaurants, I don't want to take names here, which don't provide that kind of quality, which don't provide that kind of service that I done for. And usually Mughlai restaurants become boring. I mean, those were the types where you would go on your parents' anniversary to, and or you rather prefer, Plan B or stuff like that and something cooler. So I thought that my restaurant would appeal to the senior citizens of this place by the authenticity of its food, as well as the decor and the accessibility and the brand approach that I give would be appealing to the youth as well. The youth can also come down with their buddies and chill and enjoy the ambience, in terms of the music and the whole vibe that you get at Pashto is different. So with that I come in. My main USP being, I tried getting fine dine quality food, fine dine Mughlai quality food, which was way too expensive for the masses, and got that at affordable prices. I struck that down at affordable prices. That was the whole goal behind Pashto, to get that fine dine quality food with that experience and serve it and bring it at very affordable prices. So that's been been the USP of the brand so far. Wes?
What are your main challenges or obstacles, and how did you overcome them? Like, you can't start a restaurant overnight. What was the effort that took place? What are the challenges? What are the obstacles? And how did you face them? And how did you, financing? You need a lot of financing as well. How did you manage all that?
Yeah, you see, in terms of obstacles and things with the restaurant, of course, yes, you go through a lot of challenges when you're trying to put up a restaurant. Like, for example, in the cafeteria, as we were chatting up, you cannot see, no matter what you do, even if you put up a chai stall, the thought behind it should be big. Say, for example, you are purchasing something for your chai stall. The thought behind it should be big. Be bold throughout. And that's how I came across this. Because usually what happens is, as we discussed earlier, a very common mistake that everyone does, every restaurateur does, is depending on one person is the biggest, single most common mistake that they all do. Depending on that one particular chef, depending on one person. I mean, it's never a team. It has to be always a team. It has to be. So, I mean, in terms of the challenges that I faced through, those were staffing, employing good people. I would for one single post, I would interview 30 of them until I picked the right one. I picked my employee for every post. I did that for every post. Be it the cooks, be it that department, be it the washing department, be it the service department, be it the managerial department, and all of that.
So these are some areas. Staffing is the major and the foremost, I mean the biggest challenge that every restaurateur faces till date. Having good employees is the main key for a good and a successful restaurant. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Be kind. Thank you so much.